Alright, what I want you to do is, first of all, go ahead and copy down this information. So go ahead and do that. Well, first of all, we are talking about interest, and interest is dealing with principal. Principal is the amount of money that you have deposited or possibly borrowed from a bank. Simple interest is the amount paid or earned for the use of your money. So again, the amount of money paid or earned. So if you're paying, like say you're borrowing from the bank, you're going to have to pay them interest for borrowing money to, let's say, pay for a vehicle. If you have money that you have saved, you're going to put it in the bank, and the bank will then pay you for the use of your money. Okay, so they'll pay you interest. To find simple interest, which is the letter I, you're going to use the formula below, which is I, meaning interest, equals the principal times the rate times the time, or interest equals, and again I just said all that. So money is dealing with principal. The annual interest rate, written as a decimal, is here, and again that has to be the annual interest rate for 1 year, and then the time is expressed in years, and make sure it's in years. Otherwise, we have to write that as a fraction, and I'll show you that as well. So let's look at our first problem. It says Arnold has $580 in a savings account that pays 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in each amount of time? Well, 5 years, and again, we're using principal times the rate times the time to find how much interest he'll make. Principal is the amount of money, $580, times the rate. The rate is always going to be this percentage rate, and we have to write 3% as a decimal. So if we have 3%, we've got to move the decimal 1, 2 places to the left, so it's going to be 0.03 times the amount of time, which they gave us right here, and it's 5 years. And again, it has to be written in years, and it is in years, so we leave it that. So now we simply take this problem and we multiply it, and you can simply take your calculator and say 580 times 0.03 times 5, and you get 87 for an answer. Now, what is this? Well, it's asking how much you earn. It is money, so it's $87. Okay, so let's do this next one. And $580 again is the same amount times the same rate is 3%, so 0.03 times, but it's for 6 months. So it's 6 out of how many months in a year? 12. Okay, which we can then take this number and convert it to a decimal by simply dividing it. 6 divided by 12, and you do get 0.5. That's the best way. So since it's 0.5, we can get rid of this. We don't need it. And you simply plug in your calculator again. $580 times 0.03 times 0.5, which is a half of a year. And you would see that you get $8. Actually, you get 8.7. But remember, we're talking about money. And if we have money, this is $8 and actually not 7 cents, it's 70 cents. We got to add a 0 behind that number to get us what we're looking for. We always have to have 2 digits to the right of the decimal. Okay, now if we have extra numbers out here, then we round it again to our hundredths place value, or to the nearest cent that they might say. And that's exactly what we did on the previous day with our IN section IN2, dealing with tips and discounts. So let's look at our next problem, and I'm going to let you go ahead and solve this. So again, principal times the rate times the time. So $1,200 times my interest rate, which is 3.9, so I got to move it 1, 2 places, add a 0, so it's going to be 0.039 times 8 months. So it is 8 out of 12. Okay, 8/12. And when we take this and we reduce this, you would see that you get 2/3. Okay, well, if you take 2/3, or 8 divided by 12, you would see that you get 0.666666, and then eventually it turns into a 7 because it's a repeating decimal, so they make you round it. So what I would suggest you do is, instead of writing this, you're putting 0.6 repeating, okay? But since it's a repeating decimal, okay, we need to multiply this first, because if we just put 0.6, it's not going to give me the same results. So you have to literally take 2 and divide it by 3. This right here, 2 divided by 3, and so you have all of this to where it says literally 0.666666 on your calculator, and it'll probably turn it to a 7. Leave it like that. Then multiply it by my other numbers. And it doesn't matter which of the other ones you do. 0.039 times 1200, and you'd see you get 31.2. And you can then, obviously, since this is not $31.2, it's 20 cents. Make sure you get the 0 on the bottom, or behind the 2. So you get $31.20. That's how much you would earn on $1,200 on a 3.9% interest rate for 8 months. Okay? Let's look at our next problem and go ahead and solve this. So I have $1,900, and I'm going to multiply that by not 4.25, but we're moving it 2 places to the left again, so 0.0425, lots of numbers there, times, and this is in years, so we're going to leave it 4. So now we can take our 1,900 times 0.0425 times 4, and that's going to equal 323, and that is it. It is dollars. You can put your 2 zeros if you like, and that's your answer. Okay? Questions on that? And again, this could be a loan that you're paying on, the $323 that you pay on that loan, or if you had the $1,900 in the bank for 4 years, you would earn $323 over that 4-year period of time at a 4.25% interest rate. Again, if you have questions, certainly write those questions down and we'll answer them tomorrow. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.